one of the areas we obviously spend a great deal of time at is the United States of America and North America in general. And so we can see that on that globe with the mountain ranges in the east and, of course, the Rockies in the west right there. And we also have accompanying this a large floor map. And we actually have floor maps of all the continents. You can get a sense of the size of it. This is the North America map. It shows the detail of Canada and the United States. They are great teaching tools. It allows students to walk on this and to see the connections on the interhighway system, for example, the river systems, and try to get a better understanding of our country in all of its variety. In addition to this, the North American map also includes the Caribbean islands, and so we can get a sense of their size and their variety. In the Caribbean island system, there are more than 70 countries. We see some of the major ones right there. Some of them stand up a great deal. Cuba, for example, is very well known in the United States itself, and so we can go through. Haiti, we have many people from Haiti as part of our community in Massachusetts and throughout New England. So these are very, very important areas to think about. One of the countries that we are connected to in many ways, part of the United States is the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and there's the capital of San Juan. It's part of the United States and has a long history, sometimes a very complicated history with the rest of the United States, which one could explore in the classroom. All of these islands here, and there are multiple of them, illustrate the differences between them as well as the similarities. These islands have been well known during history, having been colonized, initially populated by Native American peoples, the Caribs, for example, and that's where we get the name, and the Taino Indians, all of these around these islands. They were then colonized by countries from Europe. In particular, you can see some of the names of the United Kingdom, France, the Netherlands, and the United States. And so they have particular historical connections. The varieties are very, very significant. They're also famous, or infamous in a way, for sugar plantations. Much of the sugar that we eat comes from these islands because of climate reasons and agricultural practices themselves. So let's keep going. One other place that we just mentioned, which is important, and it shows up very clearly here and on the globe, and that is the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal, created a little more than 100 years ago, really changed global commerce and global connections so that ships could pass through this and did not have to pass around the southern point of South America in order to get goods from the east coast of the United States through this passageway here. With lots of change going on, and the ideas of globalization depend to a great extent on this canal, which is now being widened and improved so that we can have easy access throughout the world, from the eastern to the western hemisphere.
And one use that we make of the flat map here, the National Geographic floor map, is that we can illustrate the strategic importance of the Panama Canal by having some students walk, for example, from New York City to San Francisco. We can talk about walking over land in the 1800s, taking a boat this way, which would involve stopping in Panama for several weeks, or taking all the way around South America. And we'll send a child to the far end of the gym, and they'll represent the southern end of South America, and they really understand the point of the distance saved and the potential risk avoided by the building of this canal.
And then, of course, we also have, beyond the continent maps, large floor maps, we have the large floor map of our very own state, Massachusetts.